I'm shocked it took this long, but your boy the mean, aka Lamine Yamal, has his YouTube channel, and there is not a MILF or a dwarf in sight. Shout out to your boy. Shout out to your boy Yamal, who has just opened up his YouTube channel again. You know, shout out guys. Remember, join, become a member, Patreon members. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the support for everybody out there. Thank you guys. So again, so were you there before he hits 1 million? So he's going to hit 1 million subscribers like within the next few hours. And basically, by the end of today, he'll be over 1 million subscribers. I think he's on 600. He's over 600,000 now, and I'm just so surprised that it's taken him this long to have his own YouTube channel. You know, because I thought that as a guy as young as he is, growing up in the social media era, that he not already have one. Again, I told you, I'm 21, but for my alternative age, I remember a time with dial-up, with no social media, no freaking smartphones, and where everything was freaking brick and mortar. So the concept of if a YouTube channel was not even a thing for my alternative ages, teenagers, because I'm actually 21 now, I'm turn 22 next October. But I think, look, this makes so much sense. So obviously, I want to just pick up some highlights of the different things from obviously him opening up his YouTube channel, because so before we go to the first highlights, I think what's happening. So back in the day, before social media, the internet, the narrative was controlled by the media. It was controlled by the media. So imagine if Beckham had Instagram back in the 90s, if Cantona had Instagram back in the 90s, if R9 had Instagram back in the 90s, and they'd be able to course correct any kind of narratives that the tabloids would want to put out. Because for newspapers, it's all about selling news. It's all about selling newspapers. So they'll say, oh, this guy is disrespecting dwarfs. Oh, this guy is with this MILF who wants to steal his money. And there was no way for the superstar to take his narrative, because for him to do that, he'd need to get in contact with a newspaper. And those newspaper guys, because they want to sell a narrative, the lie makes more money than the truth. Sometimes the truth can be sexy, but more times than not, the lie is sexier than the truth. And as human beings, we want to chase whatever is exciting. Even if we don't really care whether it's true or not. Is it exciting? Is it controversial? Is it funny? Is it humorous? Is it risky? Is it risque? So not about it being true is, oh my gosh, this guy puts dwarfs into a cannonball and cannonballs dwarfs into Jupiter. Oh my gosh, this guy hates dwarfs. Okay, well, do you want to verify whether it's true or not? No. We don't care whether it's true or not. Let me put out a video and let me put out a TikTok saying that this guy uses dwarfs as human cannonballs. That's just the world that we live in. It's all about what goes viral, what trends, what's controversial, what sells, sell, because that's where the money is being made, is being controversial. So I think with him having his YouTube channel, he can be like, oh, no. I can now sort of correct those narratives and be able to now say what's up. So the first thing I noticed here, a Luis Diaz jersey, and I believe this is Colombia's away kit. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this is Colombia's away kit. He's wearing a Luis Diaz jersey, which I found very interesting, because I think he knows he's being filmed. He knows he's being filmed, and he knows that everybody's going to pick up at everything, that's what he's wearing, what he's doing, because I think Yamal now knows that he's a public figure. He's literally one of the most popular people in the world. Bro, he's already been on 60 Minutes. Because the World Cup is happening in the summer, and he'll be one of the faces for the World Cup. Hopefully he'll be fit. He's already had a 60 Minutes interview as a teenager. So he knows that he's literally one of the most famous sports people on the planet. So everything will be scrutinized. So him putting on and wearing a Luis Diaz jersey here says a lot. Because it says that, oh, no. I know that this guy's a baller, and I respect ballers. And I always say to guys that like football has fallen, and there are very few players right now that I actually rep. So the guys I rep right now: Yamal, Pedri, Cole Palmer, Musiala, and shout out Leonard Carl kid as well, who looks pretty good. So only about 4 or 5 players who are like, these guys are just individual ballers who I want to go to watch this match because they are playing. Very few of them exist. So Yamal is in a very small pool of guys where, these are guys that half up wants to go and watch. But I think in Luis Diaz, even if I would not put him in that pool, he's still within that stratosphere. Because I think that, like what's the saying? Game recognizes game. I think Luis Diaz, he's a dribbler. He's an individualistic player. He's a single-minded player. He is not a European pass first, be tactical. He's a South American. It's about flair, it's about flamboyance, and it's about, as an individual, how can I win this game by myself through the art of the dribble? And I think Yamal is from that old school mentality that Arnan was from, your boy Dino was from, where it's about, I'm going to be that individual and try to change the course of the game myself. Where Messi is from, where Neymar is from. Like, there are very few of those guys. So I think in Luis Diaz, he sees a kindred spirit of like, he understands the psychology of football. He understands the psychology of, we're here to entertain. We're here to excite. We're not here to be robots. 99% of football players right now are robots. They are slaves to the iPad. They are slaves to instructions. I told you, 99% of players are iPad merchants. These guys, they're iPad players. Very few people are actual footballers. Like, I can only name maybe 5 or 6 actual footballers in the world. Everybody else is a robotic iPad merchant. And I think for guys like Yamal, and I'll even say Luis Diaz, I just think Luis Diaz is not as good as, or he's not as talented as Yamal, Pedri, Musiala, Palmer, and I say like Leonard Carl. But he has the same psychology of those guys. And that psychology is, just give me the ball and let me cook. Most guys are, I need to understand the tactical system. I need to understand what the coach is saying. I need to understand where I need to run. These guys are like, screw the iPad. Get that bum-ass, trash, break fruit-selling iPad the hell out of here. Give me the ball, let me roll. Give me the ball, let me dance. Give me the ball, let me decide this game by myself. I'm not relying on anyone else to decide the game. I want to decide the game myself, which is what Yamal did against Inter Milan. So I just think that if you're Luis Diaz, it's like, all right, I see you. And I think that we need more Luis Diaz's, we need more Yamals, we need more Musialas, because these are the guys that make football interesting. We're not here to watch a tactic or a system. We're here to watch individuals. We're here to watch Messi. We're here to watch Neymar. We're here to watch Ronaldo Nazario. We're here to watch Yamal. Let the ballers ball. So that was interesting, I hope then. So I think as well, I thought this was pretty cool. So here's my thing. That's a record. That is, first of all, if it was a CD, I'd be shocked. Because I think that's old. I don't think teenagers even know what that is. So for me to see that, I was like, wait, he has a record of Dr. Dre? That's crazy. Because I'll be real with you. I remember there was one time when I was on the train and I had a CD player. And this kid was just staring at me. I was like, what is this kid staring at me? I was like, oh yeah, I get it. This kid is staring at me because this kid has never seen a CD player before. He has no concept of a CD player. All he knows are, the music is digital. It's on iTunes, it's on Apple Music, it's on Spotify, it's on Tidal. So he had no concept of a CD player. So I would think that's for most teenagers. Basically, if you're a teenager, you've never used a CD player before. If you're a teenager, I don't think you know what a CD player looks like. If you're a teenager, you just wouldn't. You're like, wait, it's a CD player. What the hell is that? Because CD players were pretty much going out of fashion in the mid 2000s, and most of these guys who are like teenagers, they were born after the mid 2000s. So they're like, wait, what is this? A CD player? What are you on about? Okay, I have no idea what the hell that is. So, but the crazy thing is that he has a record of it. So the fact that he has a record of it is crazy. And he even said, I want to buy a record player to pretty much play it. So That's it. But maybe it's a case of it's like a collector's item. So again, a teenager would look at my CD player and be like, "Oh man, that's like a cool relic collector's item. Your old as uncle, interesting." So I think because again, I grew up at a time where CD players were the new thing, records were the old thing. But now we live in a time where CD players are the old thing and records are like relics because my friend, he sometimes used to DJ and he'd go to the record store. So now record stores are like seen as very special, vintage, niche things that very few people, less than 1%, even go and buy. So I didn't figure that he'd actually go and get a Dr. Dre thing. And so what they always say, the music on like Spotify, because it's been digitized, the music on a CD player is way better. So albums I really like the album by Her, I have that on CD because the quality on the CD player is different. It's different gravy. The quality that you get on a CD player. But the best quality you have, the thing that sounds closest to where it sounds like it was recorded in the studio is a record. So when you have a record, that is the truest sound you can get from an actual player. So this just shows that Yamal, he truly appreciates. And yeah, Chronic, classic album. But I think the one that I think was the most interesting for all this though was the match ball. So this he said that because I think he was with his cousin. And he said like this is his most prized possession because I think look bro, loads of trophies. He showed like the Euro medal, player of the match, Champions League player of the match, Euro player of the match. He had several trophies. The under 23 player of the tournaments, everything. But the most prized possession was that match ball when he gave birth to Mama's boy, aka Rabio, and scored that crazy goal against your boys France. And if you look at that goal, that just shows you like what it was. And also, and I think I have it here. So just to remind people, this was my reaction of that goal when he actually scored it. So I'll show you actually my reaction of that goal. So this was my live reaction when he scored that goal against Spain, no, against France in that Euro semis. Spain, like this is now Spain, this is their biggest test now. You're 1-0 down against one of the What? What? Oh, bro, seeing that live was insane. I'm sorry. Seeing that live was absolute insanity. So, because I think that goal is right now, that is his defining moment right now. 100%. Like, you look at the goal against, because the goal against Inter, the UCL semi, that's probably the best. That's the best goal he has scored, just based on just how much he had to do as an individual. But I think as of right now, his most iconic moment was that goal against France because it's a Euro semi, it's an international, it's against France. Mbappe's on that pitch, and he was 16 when he did it. This was his first international tournament. The nature of the goal, when the goal came, and it ended up with them actually winning the tournament. So you take everything into account, 100% that would be his most precious moment. And I think that's, when you just look at in football, that's an iconic moment. We look back at like when Mbappe scored that two-piece against Argentina as a teenager. That was a seminal moment because that was just like, oh, this guy has announced himself as this is the next player. And it's so funny because Mbappe was on that pitch. So I think that is yet another seminal footballing moment of this teenage sensation announcing himself to the world and scoring that goal, similar to what Pele did in the 58 World Cup, announcing himself to the world as this teenage sensation. So I can understand why that is so crucial because that's, from that moment, it was, yeah, peace. Because prior to then, he was just a very talented player. At that moment, it was like, oh, this is no longer a talented teenager. This is no longer a prospect. I think we're looking at the real deal. And I think we're looking at a guy who wants to snatch Mbappe's crown. Mbappe's still trying to fight for that crown, but this is a guy who's like, no, Mbappe, fine, you don't want to take that crown, I want to take that crown for myself. So that was it. And again, who knows what he can do on the World Cup. But yeah, look, I've subscribed. I've subscribed to his channel, and I'll be intrigued to see what he does on his YouTube thing. And all I ask one thing. Please, Yamal, I'm not asking, do not, no matter how anyone asks, do not put a single dwarf or a hobbit on your YouTube channel.